Some have said this whole entire thing may have been a coincidence. Personally, I don't think so, just like I don't think it was a coincidence when Taylor released her albums on streaming services when Katy Perry released her album Witness, in the midst of their feud.
What's good, YouTube gang? Today we're gonna be checking out a video titled Billie Eilish versus Taylor Swift. What's going on? So apparently Billie Eilish had some negative things to say about Taylor Swift. So before we get into this video created by Honest, let's see what Billie Eilish had to say. So here it says, did Billie Eilish take a dig at Taylor Swift by calling 3-hour concerts a psychotic? Like, what? Pop star sensation Billie Eilish is working on coming back with her music tours, but she has made one thing clear to her fans. She will not be performing in concerts for over 3 hours, and social media is convinced that it is a subtle dig at singer Taylor Swift, who is currently on her Era tour. Also read Taylor Swift versus Billie Eilish. Wow. So it says, these days, 3-hour concert length seems to be a common thing among touring artists like Taylor and Bruce Springsteen. I hope I pronounced that right. During a pop-in chart with fans on the Stationhead app over the weekend, Billie was asked if her audience can expect that kind of length show from her on the upcoming Hit Me Hard and Soft tour. Hit Me Hard and Soft, that's wild. Especially her song, Lunch, that song is crazy wild. If y'all haven't heard it, go ahead and check it out. I did a reaction to it. Crazy. I was so mind blown. And then it's like the tour is called Hit Me Hard and Soft. Like, she wildin'. It seems to me like she's seeking attention. How old is Billie Eilish? Like, did she just turn 18? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section, like, how old she is. I hope she's at least 21, talking like this. So anyways, her response to her fans was, I'm not doing a 3-hour show that's literally psychotic. Billie said as per fan recordings during a chat with fans on the Stationhead app per a report on People. Nobody wants that. You guys don't want that. I don't want that. I don't even want that as a fan. My favorite artist in the world, I'm not trying to hear them for 3 hours. That's far too long. I mean, I see why my fellow Swifties are coming at her, because it's like, what's psychotic about it? Like, that was so unnecessary. All you had to say was, no, I'm sorry. You're not going to get a 3-hour concert from me. But to sit there and be like, that's psychotic, like, that is shade. Seriously, because, like, just because you may not want to sit and watch a 3-hour concert does not mean that others do not enjoy it. Like, what? Like, if I had the opportunity to go see a 3-hour concert by Taylor Swift, I would definitely do it, because it's 3 hours. Like, that's amazing. You got 3 hours to dance and sing and, just enjoy yourself. Like, when you go to a club, I'm pretty sure you're at the club for about 3 hours. So how is it psychotic? That's wild. But anyways, this video here is Billie Eilish versus Taylor Swift. What's going on? Created by Honest. And hopefully he can give us a better understanding of what's really going on between Billie Eilish and Taylor Swift.
Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift, in an alleged feud? This wouldn't be the first time Miss Swift has been accused of feuding with a Gen Z pop star. Her and Olivia Rodrigo also supposedly had some tension, and it was even speculated that parts of her hit song Vampire was about their fallout, with Olivia saying, "I never want to say who any of my songs are about. I've never done that before in my career and probably won't." I think it's better to not pigeonhole a song to being about this one thing. This alleged feud happened because of Olivia having to give up writing credits on her hit song Deja Vu, which is ironic given its title. But in retrospect, it's one of those songs that fell victim to faulty copyright song laws in a post-Blurred Lines music industry, because they have zero similarities. They both shout in the bridge and that's it. Taylor has also had strong similarities with other songs, Hey Mickey by Tony Basil and Shake It Off, Without You by Lana and Wildest Dreams. And those similarities are even stronger than the Deja Vu and Cruel Summer Squint and Tilt Your Head vague similarities. Even her song Vigilante Shit sounds like a diet You Should See Me in a Crown. So in short, I don't think anyone deserved additional writing credits on Deja Vu. But that incident is rumored to be the seed of Rodrigo and Swift tension. Taylor has been cited as an influence by Olivia, and while that influence is palpable, particularly in some of Olivia's lyricism, her soundscape and other half of her lyrics leans more into the lineage of acts such as Alanis Morissette and a lot of 90s rock women. She's become a child of the Lilith Fair women, especially with the addition of Guts to her discography, and her poppier sounds lean more into Lorde. But this led many to speculate that Taylor dropped a lyric aimed at Olivia in the Tortured Poets department, saying, "You look like Taylor Swift in this light, we're loving it. You've got the edge she never did. The future's bright." Now there's alleged tension between Billie Eilish and Taylor Swift. These beefs never seem to be explicitly personal, but more so about the politics in the music industry. This started when Billie said, "Then it's some of the biggest artists in the world making 40 different vinyl packages that have a different unique thing just to get you to keep buying more. It's so wasteful and it's irritating to me that we're still at a point where you care that much about your numbers and you care that much about making money, and it's all your favorite artists doing that shit." While Eilish herself put out multiple vinyls of her album Happier Than Ever, she used 100% recycled black vinyl. Color variants were made from recycled scraps, and records were packaged in shrink wrap made of sugarcane. Lanes other artists don't usually go to. She noted that she liked to see limits on vinyl musicians can put out. For example, no more than 4 colors or some other rule, because it seems unfair to fault an artist for just playing the number one game. I was watching The Hunger Games and it made me think about it because it's like, we're all going to do it because it's the only way to play the game, Eilish shared. It's just accentuating this already kind of messed up way of this industry working. And I think Billie expressed herself pretty fairly. She also doesn't exclude herself in this problem, but she does make an effort to make her vinyls more environmental friendly. I do find it to be a very egregious practice, but given that labels are involved, I wouldn't say that most artists have the power or foothold to control how their album is sold. Obviously, I'm sure this differs on someone as big and in control as Taylor Swift, particularly ever since she's reclaimed her work. And the thing with the multiple variants is it's not just a simple deluxe version with extra tracks anymore. Some artists have started splitting deluxe tracks up and putting one song on each different vinyl. So basically a fan will have to buy multiple different copies to really hear the full body of work. The multiple variants is also a practice that has been very present in the K-pop industry, and it seems like the Western media is just now catching up. Not only that, but the multiple variants negatively impact independent artists who may depend on sales for their physical media, but they can't get their vinyls made because big shots are holding up the factories. What really gave this alleged tension more validity is when Billie's critically acclaimed album Hit Me Hard and Soft was released. Taylor and her team went hard dropping multiple versions, seemingly in an effort to block Billie from getting the #1 spot. She also collabed with an environmental activist on one of her remixes, which just seems useless. It's like you don't get brownie points for collabing on a song with an environmental activist. You get cred when walking the walk. Some have said this whole entire thing may have been a coincidence. Personally, I don't think so, just like I don't think it was a coincidence when Taylor released her albums on streaming services when Katy Perry released her album Witness, in the midst of their feud, or when she
First of all, just because Taylor Swift released an album the same time Katy Perry did or Billie Eilish does not mean that she did it to be spiteful. All right. Maybe she was just done at the same time, okay, and happened to release her album. Like, I feel like everyone makes it a big deal because they know how Taylor Swift is so loved and how big she is. So if Taylor Swift drops an album, then it's, curtains for whoever else drops an album. Like, it's not Taylor's fault that if she drops around the same time that another artist drops, that Taylor Swift is gonna get more shine. So whoever looks at it that way, I think y'all low key just jealous because why does it have to mean that she's doing it to be malicious? Like, make that make sense.
She randomly moved her album back when she found out Adele was releasing an album. Taylor has a reputation for being calculated with Easter
Wait, what
eggs,
did he say?
meticulously planned. Katy Perry released her album Witness in the midst of their feud, or when she randomly moved her album back.
Let me go back a little bit more. My
Taylor
bad,
and her team went
guys.
hard, dropping multiple versions, seemingly in an effort to block Billie from getting the number one spot. She also collabed with an
That's not
environmental
true.
activist on one of her remixes, which just seems useless. It's like you don't get brownie points for collabing on a song with an environmental activist. You get cred when walking the walk. Some have said this whole entire thing may have been a coincidence. Personally,
Right.
I don't think so. Just like I don't think it was a coincidence when Taylor released her albums on streaming services when Katy Perry released her album Witness in the midst of their feud, or when she randomly moved her album back
In
when
the
she found out
midst of
Adele
their
was releasing an
feud.
album.
Okay, in the midst of their feud, like that doesn't mean that still does not mean that she did it on purpose.
Personally, I don't think so. Just like I don't think it was a coincidence when Taylor released her albums on streaming services when Katy Perry released her album Witness in the midst of their feud, or when she randomly moved her album back when she found out Adele was releasing an album. Taylor has a reputation for being
Okay, he said that Taylor Swift pushed back her album when she found out Adele was gonna be releasing the album. And your point? Like, what is he trying to say by that? It sounds to me like he's a Taylor Swift hater. That's all I hear.
Personally, I don't think so. Just like I don't think it was a coincidence when Taylor released her albums on streaming services when Katy Perry released her album Witness in the midst of their feud, or when she randomly moved her album back when she found out Adele was releasing an album.
Okay,
Taylor has a
and
reputation for being calculated with Easter eggs, meticulously planning things.
yeah.
I don't think this would be much different. Even with the not so subtle alleged diss track towards Kim Kardashian on the Tortured Poets. She's just very meticulous, and I just don't think this would be much different. It's petty, and Billie's manager also liked to post about the situation. Taylor has also admitted to keeping an eye on the younger generation of stars and having a fear of being replaced. In her song Nothing New, she says, I know someday I'm gonna meet her. It's a fever dream. The kind of radiance you only have at 17. She'll know the way, and then she'll say she got the map from me. I'll say I'm happy for her, then I'll cry myself to sleep. Now, obviously, Billie did not get the map from Taylor, they are night and day. But I bring this song up because it just speaks to the fact that Taylor's conscious of things like this, and public perception and what's said about her, or what she may internalize as being about her. And her lyrics allude that she may have a lingering insecurity around younger stars. Billie was
I'm
really
starting to
speaking
get
about an
hot.
industry wide issue, she didn't exclude herself. But then again, it's like when Taylor's one of the biggest perpetrators of that issue, I get it. I also think of Adele, who has never released a standard deluxe album ever in her entire career, yet she has the number one and number two best selling albums of the 21st
I
century,
love
which is
Adele. I need to
insane.
react to her.
Nonetheless, Billie still earned the biggest first week sales of her career thus far, which is an amazing feat. Some deranged fans also took Billie saying that she would never do a 3-hour tour as a diss towards Taylor. Billie was asked if she would ever do one. She didn't mention any names or tours. She said she would not want that as an artist or a fan. And that's her prerogative. It's really not that serious.
Okay, and he's leaving out the fact that she said it's psychotic. That's the thing. Now, yes, that's her opinion. If she feels like, even as a fan, she wouldn't want to see a 3 hour concert, that's fine. But she said it's psychotic. By saying it's psychotic, now you're crossing the line. Now you're talking crap. All right? Like she could have just said like, "No, I wouldn't want that. Tell her fans, please don't expect a 3 hour concert from me." And that's fine. But she said it's psychotic. Like, to me, that's extra. And this guy, he's clearly a Taylor Swift hater, which is crazy because I did not think that I would be getting hot and low-key upset because he's obviously biased. Like, he said, yeah, that's her opinion. But he literally left out the fact that she said it's psychotic. She's calling someone psychotic. So it's deeper than just saying that even as a fan, you wouldn't want to see a 3 hour concert. Like, this dude is so biased.
Yes. Even then, the girl only has 3 albums. Shocker, she doesn't want to have the length of her greatest hits tour so early on in her career. I feel this particular aspect is something that has really been sensationalized. Like, it's really not that deep. Ultimately, I don't think this beef or tension is a big deal. I do think Taylor was probably aware of what Billie said and wanted to be vengeful. And I get it, it's like sports. You want your team to be number one, but at the end of the day, a number two chart position is not the end of the world. Especially when you're not a seasoned vet and you're still carving out your own legacy and fan base. If
Right.
anything, I think it's
Okay.
remarkable given how non conforming Billie's music generally is to pop radio. I saw her career taking more of a Lana Del Rey route, where there's big commercial moments throughout their careers, but they mostly are carried by their own loyal fan bases. But Billie continues to pave her own lane. Hit Me Hard and Soft being at number 2 doesn't change the fact that it's a good album. A hit dog will holler, but let's hope that this beef does not materialize into something bigger. I don't think it's that serious. I don't think it's that deep. And honestly, not that interesting.
He obviously is a Billie Eilish fan or a Taylor Swift hater. And yeah, he's right. For Billie Eilish to be number 2, that's a great accomplishment. I heard Billie Eilish, her song Lunch. It was wild, but it was an okay song, you know what I mean? And I'm happy for Billie Eilish. I'm happy that she's paving her own way. But at the end of the day, like, you don't go around calling people psychotic, especially over a 3 hour concert. So because an artist wants to give her fans a 3 hour concert, that makes her psychotic? Like, no. The psychotic, she could have left that part out. All she had to say was like, no, don't expect a 3 hour tour from me. That's it. She didn't have to go with the, oh, it's psychotic. Like, what's psychotic about it? How is that psychotic? Crazy. And yes, I am a Swiftie. But listen, to me, I'm not a stan. It's always gonna be what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. If I genuinely felt like Taylor Swift, did something wrong, I would say it. I would speak on it. I would call her out on it. But at the end of the day, like, this is not just Swifties being sensitive. This is, Swifties just being overprotective over Taylor because someone literally says she's psychotic. Like, to me, that's wild. But like he said, it really is not that serious. It's not that deep, for real. Like, but at the end of the day, you gotta watch how you speak about people. Period. But let me know what y'all thought about this video in the comment section. And let me know, am I wrong? Like, am I being over dramatic? Because at the end of the day, like, to me, you don't call someone psychotic because they adore their fans so much that they want to give them a 3 hour concert. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section down below. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.